Don't press the button. There is to erase the button.
Hey, welcome to Unreality Zone Fun and Games. Currently, we are playing a campaign of Modiphius Entertainment's Star Trek Adventures. Our campaign is called Empires in Embers. The setting is in Deep Space Nine, about 2 years after the Dominion War. Previously on Empires in Embers, expelled from the High Council, Kroba swore vengeance against Vita. At first, she was just a Starfleet troublemaker running around in a runabout, but now the whole galaxy knows she is commanding Deep Space Nine. Apparently, Kroba does too, since last time one of his birds of prey abducted your engineer, Drakgoun. Drakgoun, having seen a vision of all of you bringing down House Kroba weeks before it happened, was pronounced to be the emissary by a dying Vedic, making him an unwillingly controversial figure in Bajoran religion and politics. Also last time, Colonel Kira retired, and immediately afterward, you were visited by the changeling named Odo on his way to Earth. Odo helped you to rescue Drakgoun after Kroba's people placed him in stasis and handed him off to a small Bajoran spaceship belonging to the Temple of the One True Emissary. Here's a reminder that if you guys want to charge the temple with a crime, you're going to have to do it through the Bajoran court system. Okay, and meanwhile, a steady flow of old, outdated warships from all over the Alpha Quadrant has been passing through the wormhole headed for the Dominion. One of DS9's commercial businesses, the Kamaj Garage, is nearly done readying 11 Klingon K'Tinga class cruisers for gladiatorial combat in the Gamma Quadrant. Another business on the promenade, the sector branch of the Office of Get to Enterprises Multiplicities, is writing the checks. And now to tonight's episode, the greatest show in the galaxy. We are going to open with Drakgoun, who missed last time. All right, Drakgoun, you are on the bridge of Starship 11, but the lighting is bright and fuzzy, and there is a weird cricket sound all around you, if you know what a cricket is. Suddenly, Mani is there, and Mani tells you, you are the Drakgoun. Then Droff is standing beside Mani, and Droff says, why are you here? What do you say?
I don't know. What?
Oh, I know this one.
Mani says, you have come to see this, and gestures
I have?
to where you didn't even notice a few minutes ago. There's a sizzling bonfire in the middle of the bridge of your starship. Then there's a glowing ribbon
It's got
of
to be
something
against the
hot and magical looking stretching from the fire. You follow the ribbon and look to its end, and it leads to a founder. What do you say?
Founder, I'm honored.
The founder says, you have come to see this. And you see that the founder is tied up in the magical ribbon. He's struggling and struggling, but he's helpless. He can't break the magical ribbon. And now suddenly you are on a planet. It is green and beautiful and idyllic. In the distance, you can see a ringed gas giant in the sky. And then Jal is there. And Jal says, you are of Bajor. What do you say?
No, I'm not.
Jal says, you have come to see this. And he gestures to the horizon. And on the horizon, you see a moon rise. No, 2 moon rises. It's like twin moons are rising. And they're attached to each other. Huge moons. And then you see 2 more that are attached to the bottom of them. These moons are rising above the horizon. And then 2 more. Soon you are seeing a train of twin spheres. And they are headed off away from the planet, up into the sky. By now, the train must be long enough to span a continent, and it's still coming over the horizon. You don't see the end. And then Jol says, "You are the Drakgoun." And suddenly the planet around you erupts into flame. Jol vanishes in a puff of flame. And then you feel yourself falling onto a different planet, a planet you've never seen before. With beautiful rivers spanned by suspension bridges, has oceans with tropical islands, and deserts with ancient pyramids. Dr. Smith and Barbara Draper are standing there. Barbara says, "You are the Drakgoun." Do you respond?
Yes, I am.
And Dr. Smith says, "You have come to see this." And suddenly that planet too erupts in flame. Smith and Barbara are consumed by the blaze. But you notice, as flames are all around you, that same train of moon-sized spheres continues rising above the sky of this other planet. Then you feel yourself falling to a different planet that you've never seen before. A blue ice world with magnificent cities, towers that suspend smooth saucer-shaped rooms with glowing windows are in the sky. And Vita is standing there.
I'm the Drakgoun. What do I need to see?
She says, "You have come to see this." And suddenly this planet erupts in flame also. Vita vanishes in a puff of fire. But you notice above this planet, the moon-sized spheres are training off into the sky, rising to the horizon. And you see the same thing with Droff on the Denobulan homeworld, bursting into flame. Then Mani on the Klingon homeworld. Also, the world bursts into flame. And now you see the entire galaxy is engulfed in flame. And then Happy Kucharski is standing in front of you, and Happy Kucharski says, "It is not linear." And then you are lying down. You see the ceiling of the Starship 11 transporter room. Droff is bending over you, looking astonished.
Well, I am so glad you're not school supplies.
What do you tell him about what just happened to you?
Oh, I had the weirdest dream.
Wait. What? You had a dream
Well, yes.
in a stasis chamber.
Well, wait.
That isn't possible.
That's not possible.
You can't change the laws of physics.
I can't. But apparently other extra-dimensional aliens can.
All right. You'll have to excuse me. I need to go rewrite 3,000 years of science and physics.
And now we are ready to roll the opening credits. Okay, Drakgoun, you are now up and around aboard Starship 11. The ship has just rescued you and is headed back to Deep Space Nine, which is not very far away. You can see it out the window. But you see on board Starship 11 is all the player characters except for Barbara and Dr. Smith, who aren't there. But this is the important thing. The shapeshifter named Odo is there. And he is scheduled to depart from Deep Space Nine. But this is your moment to talk to him if you want to. You have any questions or comments for this changeling?
Founder, it is so good to see you.
There is no need to address me as founder.
I have questions.
I probably don't have the answers, but I can solve crimes for you.
My purpose is to try to find a new way for all of us.
Yes, I think that's the best way to proceed with the development of the Dominion. The Dominion needs to evolve away from the totalitarian regime it has been. You, Vorta, must find freedom.
How?
You'll have to find it for yourself.
Do you have any wisdom for me or anything?
Yes, don't trust the Cardassians.
Well, no spitting on the promenade. Make sure you file all your paperwork properly and pay all your fines and fees as they are accrued. If there's a dress code, make sure you dress properly. I know I always do.
Well, yes. But okay, we'll go on to my next question. I appear to have my phone going off. I'm not sure. It's hard to believe, but I might be an emissary for the prophets.
You mean like Cisco was?
So I understand, but clearly they made a mistake.
I have no idea if they are capable of making mistakes. I never experienced one of their visions, but I know many others did.
Well, they tend to be very symbolic in all these things. And, well, I'm an engineer, damn it. I'm not into symbolism.
I know a lot about the Bajorans, but I don't know much about their religion. If you want to learn about the prophets, you'll have to talk to Bajorans.
Well, I understand that you were, you helped rescue me, so you have my eternal gratitude, Founder.
Oh, it was a pleasure. I loved following the clues and figuring out what was going on. And now, unfortunately, I have duty to perform. I never, ever meant to come back to the Alpha Quadrant, but the changelings are insisting. I have to go speak with Luoxana.
Oh, good luck.
He's gonna get married again, doesn't he? Or divorced.
Perhaps both in one day.
Yes.
I wouldn't put it past her. You know, interesting side note, at this point, she has like a 5-year-old child. Because she was pregnant about 3 seasons before DS9 ended. And this is 2 years later, so...
But it's the son of that guy she doesn't like, right?
I believe that's true. We may find out more about what happens with that saga if you ever run into her or if you ever go to Earth. But right now, that's not your job. That's Odo's job. If he has your leave now, we're going to go to another scene. We ready to move to the next scene?
Yes. I think
Okay, you are back at Deep Space Nine. You have docked. Odo and the crew of that Jem'Hadar ship are all getting together and they're boarding, getting ready to leave. And there is a massive crowd forming on the promenade. You can see that that is a freaking huge ship that is docked at Deep Space Nine. And a lot of people are there to watch it undock. So where is everybody going? Is anybody else, are any of the player characters going to the promenade to watch this spectacle?
I will.
And
You're not there, Joel. You haven't gotten back yet.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
I'm hanging close to wherever Drakgoun is because I've got questions for him about the last thing he remembers before he woke up on the deck of the ship.
Is that a supply ship?
There is a supply ship that will be getting here soon, and
Okay. This isn't it.
You're not on. You're also not there yet. You're on a ship that's bound there, and Jol is on a ship that's bound there, and Jol is going to get there very shortly. As a matter of fact, Jol is on the Defiant, approaching Deep Space Nine, and you can see that freaking Jem'Hadar battleship from like a light year away. It is so huge. But
Who's captaining the DS9?
all the rest of the player characters are there.
Okay.
It's just Jol and Barbara who aren't there. Dr. Smith is there, but must have been called to surgery or something because Phil is not with us tonight.
He is being as useful as he usually is. Humans.
Yeah, he's down there at Quark's arguing philosophy and Star Wars trivia with Morn. So, Droff, Mani, Drakgoun, Vita, any of you going to the promenade to watch this?
Monty, you said you were going, yeah?
I think Ella has frozen up.
Her feed's been stuttering all night.
Yeah. Mani, are
I'll
you
go.
going?
Keep an eye on things.
Okay. Okay, so you're on the promenade. Drakgoun, Droff, are you going to the promenade?
No, I have no interest in seeing another ship take off.
Well, that's true. You've seen these ships a lot. This is pretty routine
Yes,
for you.
you know.
How about you, Droff?
I'm probably heading to Quarks to get really smashed.
Well, Quarks is on the promenade.
That's where I'm headed then.
Okay.
I invite Drakgoun up to comms.
Ops?
Ops, thank you.
Okay.
Certainly.
All right, that's fine. So, Doug, we're getting ready to play the battleship leaving video. for the Alpha Quadrant, you're in the Alpha Quadrant. Heads off for Earth, and Odo's wonderful reunion with Luoxana. Okay, and now Vita, you wanted to have a conversation with Drakgoun?
Yeah.
So that'll be taking place now.
Okay. Hey, Drakgoun, what do you
Yes.
remember? What's the last thing you remember before you were taken?
Before I was taken,
Yes. You were in your quarters, and what happened?
then I woke up on the deck.
Ooh. Okay. So literally the only thing we have to tie your abduction to Kroba or the Temple of the True Emissary is the fact that you were on their ship. Did you go willingly?
No,
Okay.
I did not go willingly with the Bajoran religious cult.
Do you want to file a official complaint?
Yes, I want to file many complaints.
All right, good. Next question is, do you want to file a complaint as a citizen of the Dominion, or do you want to change your status to be a member of a Federation crew?
That is a very difficult question.
I understand it's a hard choice for those of us who maybe don't feel a deep connection with the Federation. However, if you were a member of my crew, I would have more than just Bajoran authorities I might be able to appeal to.
Would that be the only advantage?
The other advantage is that I would not be limited in what I could include you in on. You would be a member of my crew, a full member of my crew.
I am
You
here,
belong with us.
I am here for the Dominion.
I understand.
And I am afraid if I take a Federation status, it might hinder my overall mission.
Understand. Okay. Would you like me to apply for temporary observer status on our crew, or would you like to remain a free agent all the way across?
The temporary observer status would work well.
Okay. I will go ahead and file the complaints as necessary. You may be called on to make statements of what little you remember.
Now, I had another dream or vision while
Okay,
I was
first,
in stasis.
don't tell Dr. Smith.
No problem.
Don't tell him.
No problem.
What was it about?
I explain what was talked about earlier, and see, part of the problem I have with this is the Vorta and I are very practical, and I don't always understand all the symbology. That's why I'm pretty sure they made a mistake.
I think we maybe need to talk to a human, because the whole this means that, not really a Andorian thing either. They're very imaginative, the humans.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe Bajoran because it's their religion and things.
Oh, yes, that's a good idea. We'll talk to Joel.
Okay, I was thinking of different Bajoran, maybe.
Oh.
Did you,
How about
did you let him touch my ship while I was out, by the way?
Unfortunately, we didn't have a choice.
I'll double check all the systems.
But we did not. Quartermaster Draper was not on the ship, so it's at least that safe.
Okay.
How about the? Oh, I always forget what they call their religious leaders. The religious leader in the temple.
Vedic.
The Vedic.
Have they picked
Yes.
a new one? Because the other one
No.
died.
Uh,
Pronouncing
You-
the emissary
the
and
Vedic-
died, which is just terribly something.
the Vedic who's always been on the station is still the same Vedic. So
It's Vedic Day School.
Okay. That
I-
sounds like a plan.
okay, I recommend that. Let me know if there's anything else I can do. But yeah, unless you have any like medical side effects, just leave Dr. Smith out of it.
Can do.
All right, dismissed.
Okay.
Not that I can dismiss you.
Sentiment understood.
Thank you.
Okay. So this is all still the same scene because it's all happening at the same time. So while you were having this conversation, the Jem'Hadar battleship was undocking and leaving. And Joel is looking at this massive thing go by as he's on the Defiant approaching the station. But at the same time, Droff is sitting at Quark's with a drink in his hand,
Yes.
getting nice and lubricated. Possibly listening to Dr. Smith and Morn arguing about something pointless. And all of a sudden, the world goes dark. You are blind. You can't see anything. And you hear, Droff! And you realize it's your wife's hands over your eyes. Frexy has just come up behind you. And she gives you a little kiss on the cheek. And she says, "Oh, Droff, did you see that Joke Dominion battleship? That is the biggest, scariest thing I have ever seen. I have got to write a song about it."
Okay. Okay. Well, it's wonderful to see you. That's right. You're here doing a concert?
Well, yeah, I am now. That's not why we came here, but the Vedic talked us into it. The rest of the band is going on, spending a week on leave, but two of us are going to stay here and do a concert, and that's why I'm here. And she hands you a pack of tickets.
Aha!
There's 8 comped tickets and backstage passes, and she says, "I want you to share these with your friends."
Well, then, I shall.
And you see the tickets are for a benefit show they're doing for the Bajoran Orphans Fund. It's 3 days from now in Cisco Stadium.
Oh, they have of course they have a baseball stadium. Okay.
Yeah, Cisco Stadium is one of the old Cardassian ore processing compartments from the station that's been renovated into an event space. And it hosts sporting events and concerts and plays and Klingon operas and things like that. And they're setting up to hold a benefit concert for the Bajoran orphans in 3 days. And you have a pack of tickets to distribute among your friends with backstage passes.
All right. All right. It's an excellent place to get married, the backstage at a concert.
Okay. Do you have any other interaction here at the bar before we move along?
Nope.
Okay. Then we're going to cut to Barbara. Barbara is on her way back to Deep Space Nine. She's further away than Jal is. She's probably a couple of hours out yet. She is on board an old Gorn warship, a really old ship. She managed to, a friend of a friend swung a contact to get her back a day early, traveling on this old Gorn warship. And it's a pretty impressive thing. It's big. The ceilings are high. The corridors are wide. The maybe they call them turbo lifts, but the turbo lift cars are huge because Gorn are big, broad-shouldered creatures. But there aren't actually any Gorn on board this ship.
It still smells like them.
It probably does. They've been on this. They served on this ship a really long time. And you're probably, let's say, in the mess hall getting lunch when the ship's captain sidles up beside you, and he's a human. You probably met him when you came aboard. He's Captain Buck Dallas. And he says, Barbara, hi, how you doing? So, what do you think of my ship?
It's pretty nice, Buck.
Yeah, it sure
Captain.
is. Did you know that this is the very same ship that fought the Enterprise at Cestus 3 back 110 years ago?
I did not. That's fascinating.
When I bought this ship from the Gorn, it was still in service. The Gorn, they never retire anything. They just keep using it until it's lost in service or bought by someone like me. They never even upgraded it. It's still got the same engines and weapons and shields and stuff that it had 110 years ago.
Wow.
So,
is it safe?
Oh, yeah, it's perfectly safe. And it's going to make me a whole lot of money when I get to Deep Space Nine. I need my dice, I just realized. Where are my dice?
This can only end in pain.
And do you have your dice?
I do.
Oh, what the heck did I do with mine? I can't see them.
Means I should go get look at my character sheet too.
All right. Get out the backup dice.
Oh, that's right. Nope.
Ah, there we go.
There it is. Hello, the puppy. Did you miss me?
Okay, so you're having a conversation with this guy. Let me call up your character sheet. Barbara Baker. And I need you to make an insight plus security roll. And your scores on those are pretty good.
One die?
No, you're going to roll 2 20-sided dice. And I have your character sheet up if you don't.
I do. So I roll below 14?
You're trying to roll below 14, but it's an opposed roll. You and this guy are kind of playing a game of how much information can you get out of each other. And we're going to see.
Can I tap my wretched hives of scum and villainy on this?
Not really.
Okay.
What, this guy is not a scoundrel?
Well, she's kind of, she knows all the seediest bars in the galaxy, and that's not where she is right now.
True.
All right, here we go. So you make a roll, and let me know how many successes you get. Oh!
I got a 3 and an 8.
And he rolled a critical failure, so you win.
All right.
So you get to ask him a couple of questions, and he's going to give away at least one extra thing that he did not intend to give away. And he's going to completely ask stupid questions of you and get bupkis out of you.
What's he really doing here?
Why, he's selling this ship to the people on what were they from?
Is he selling it to the people who are doing the gladiator games?
Yes, he is, to get to Enterprise's multiplicities. They'll be very happy to get this ship because it's in original condition.
He thinks that's a good thing, right?
Yeah. That's a very good thing.
What's he going to do after he sells the ship?
Well, he's going to go try to acquire more ships.
Does he have a specific contact?
Yes, his specific contact is a docile named Keen. On Deep Space Nine.
Okay.
And
That's information we didn't have.
So here's his complication he's going to get from rolling that critical failure. He really, really, really wants to meet the new commander of Deep Space Nine. He was going to try, we're going to say he already knows he blew this roll. He was trying to invite you out to dinner at the Delton restaurant, but he blew it and he knows it. So what he says instead is, I really, really, really want to meet Commander Vita. Could you arrange for you and me and her and whoever else you want to have a drink at Quark's? And I'll be happy to tell you everything I know about this deal.
Give me some time to think about that, and I'll get back to you.
Okay.
You're not going to be leaving the station anytime soon, so.
Well, you haven't gotten to the station yet. You'll be there in an hour or so.
Right.
Yeah.
So I have time.
Mm-hmm. You've got some time. All right. Now let's go to Jawl. Now, by contrast to a few minutes ago when this giant Jem'Hadar battleship left the station, there is absolutely no one looking out the window with excitement when the Defiant gets back and docks. It's completely routine. And there's another Federation starship that you see has gotten in front of you in line and docked just before you did. It is the USS Helsinki, a light frigate. And as you recall from your memory, that it was due about now. So everything seems to be going routine. So the Defiant has docked Jawl, and you've been gone a day or so, maybe a little bit more than a day, because you were security detail for Kira, and you attended the little ceremony they had for her back on Bajor, and now you've brought the Defiant back. So what do you do?
I guess I try to meet up with Vita.
Okay. Vita is in ops.
And yeah, I'll head on over to ops.
Joel,
Okay.
it's good to see you.
Same here. It's good to be back. Good to be seen.
You missed a lot of excitement.
Oh, please do tell.
I want to stop for here just a second. Mani, where are you? Are you in ops? I know you might be having some technological problems, Ella. Are you in ops?
No, I'm at the promenade.
Oh, okay. Well, you
Yeah.
just noticed that the Defiant docked, so you're not
No, I was
overhearing
at
this
the promenade,
conversation.
I
but-
thought.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so you saw the Defiant dock, but you're not at ops listening to this conversation. That's what I want to know. Okay, you
Right,
guys go on with
okay.
your conversation.
Do you want me to be?
Well, that's up to you. If you're on the promenade, you're probably down there with Droff eyeing those concert tickets. Okay.
Do I have?
Okay. Well, you missed a lot of excitement. Some Klingons kidnapped Drakgoun
Okay.
and gave him to a group of Bajorans on a church school bus called, hold on, let me look my notes. I checked my notes real quick. Temple of the One True Emissary. Does that mean anything to you?
Can I make like an insight check or something, Mike?
Yes. You will be rolling insight and security.
I got a 1 and a 9.
Okay. You know, there have been emissary-related factions that were dedicated to Cisco. You hadn't heard about One True Emissary before. Oh. I can speak now? Okay, Joel. You have heard of various factions that are dedicated to Cisco that might be the Temple of the Emissary or things like that. This business about One True Emissary, this is new. You had not heard anything about that, and you don't have any intel on it.
I say, Vita, no, I haven't heard anything about them. Maybe we should do some investigation in them.
Well, I've spoken with Drakgoun, and he definitely wants to file a complaint.
Okay.
I told him he wants to file many complaints. Yeah, so I assume you can help me get that because it has to go through Bajor.
Okay.
I assume you can help me get that taken care of. Yes.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I can get all the red tape lined up and all that. So.
Okay. Good. Excellent. And the other thing I think we need to be careful of is, I'm getting the feeling Drakgoun's in a lot more danger than we ever previously thought.
Oh, what makes you say that?
Between you and I, not to be shared with Dr. Smith, especially since he'll probably inject bleach in the poor man's arms if he admits it. He's having more visions. And he had a vision while in stasis, which has Dr. Jolf freaking out. Professor Jolf.
I see. Okay.
Because based on what Jolf says and my very basic understanding of physics, it shouldn't be possible.
Right. Okay. All right. I'll get all the paperwork lined up, and I'll keep an eye out too for any cultists.
Yeah, it definitely keep me posted on anything. I get the feeling we have a lot of political stuff going on. Oh, what did you find out about the two candidates for the leader of your religious group, of which I always forget? I am sorry. I realize you Bajorans take your religion very deeply seriously.
The Kai?
Yes, the Kai.
Uh-huh. What did I find out, Mike?
Okay. I can't remember how much of this I said before, but I'm going to let you have everything I've got written down here for presenting today. The two candidates are Vedek Umte, who, if you recall, that name was actually mentioned as the favorite in the What We Leave Behind, or What You Leave Behind, the last episode of DS9. He's a very plain candidate, and at this point favors a very generous Cardassian reconstruction. The Federation likes that candidate. Unfortunately, he may be, because he is so pro-Cardassian, and the Cardassians have this real hatred of Vorta right now because of what they did at the end of the war, or what Weyoun did at the end of the war. You think the Cardassians really would not want Unte to be the one.
Okay,
Or I'm
that
sorry,
makes sense.
the Cardassians do want Unte to be the one,
Okay,
but the Cardassians don't like Drakgoun.
right.
All right. Whereas Vedic Linjarin, Yevir Linjarin, he's Cisco inspired him. Actually, was his personal inspiration. There's a moment in a Deep Space Nine episode where Cisco turns to this young male Bajoran and tells him to go follow your passions, and that turned out to be Vedic Linjarin, who is
Yeah.
very, very conservative and very devout, highly orthodox, hates the Cardassians. Probably would be, though, fairly favorable to Drakgoun because the Cardassians hate Drakgoun.
Okay. So the the worshippers of the Pa race, they wore the red earrings, I think, on the left ear, where the worshippers of the prophets were the jewelry hanging from the right ear. I think that's right. Is there a way that the cultists of the one true emissary identify themselves?
You don't really know anything about the cultists of the One True Emissary.
Okay.
Your crew saw one on their view screen when they were talking to them, and they didn't say, "We are cultists."
Right.
That is just a conclusion made by
Right.
the markings on their spaceship and their behavior.
Okay. Huh. All right.
Cultists never do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say the kidnapping thing was kind of a big tell, but I could be wrong.
So they don't wear red hats or
It was
wave
worse.
flags around, or
They didn't just kidnap him and then turn him over when we caught them. They denied they had him. So
right. Okay.
And what they had was a box.
yeah, Drakgoun
Okay.
was in stasis. So the part of the problem is proving that if they knew what they knew.
I see. Okay. All right. So I'm going to use my contacts within the Bajoran militia, Bajoran government, and of course any security forces to keep an eye out for the One True Emissary.
Mm-hmm.
Because if they show up on station, I want to know about it.
Okay. So here's your overall understanding of the situation, of the problem.
Mhm.
The candidate for Kai that looks favorably upon the idea of Drakgoun as the emissary is the candidate Starfleet does not want to get the job.
Right.
The candidate Starfleet wants to get the job is the one that does not like the idea of Drakgoun being the emissary.
Right.
So that's the paradox you're in. You're the one who jumps to that conclusion and can explain it to everybody else.
Okay. Great. All right. So yeah. And I'll just explain it. I guess off camera, or to Vita that said candidate will be totally beneficial, or the Federation will like, but does not like Drakgoun and the other candidate who is the other way, completely orthodox and hates the Cardassians.
All right, strategically speaking, is it better for Drakgoun for him to be an emissary, or better that just everybody decide he's not an emissary?
That's a good question. Wow. I guess we'd have to talk to the Kai about that.
Well, and maybe Drakgoun first.
Right.
I got to get out of the habit of treating him as if he's crew, because it's been made very clear to me that he's not directly crew, even though he's aligned with us at the moment. He
Right.
has his people to worry about.
Right. I think it would be a good thing if he were to become the emissary, and the Kai recognize him as the emissary.
All right, that makes things very complicated for us.
It
then,
does.
doesn't it?
It does. Yeah. But maybe we can use, him being the emissary to our advantage. So.
True. Sometimes I wished I were a Vulcan. This would be all so much easier if I were a Vulcan. All right. Thank you.
All right, are we ready to end that scene?
Yes.
Okay. Coming to ops now. Entering is one of your deputies. Let me see. Ozian. Yaga Ozian. So, Deputy Yaga, a woman, female Bajoran, says, Jal, we've got a problem
And I look up to her and I say, yeah.
that needs some attention. Yeah, down at the that Federation starship that just docked the Helsinki.
Mm-hmm.
There are some issues with its cargo.
Oh.
We need you and whoever you think you should bring to come down and help us sort this out.
Okay. All right, great. So I tell Vita, hey, there's a problem with the Helsinki's cargo. I think we could use an engineer and a science officer. What do you think?
Okay. I think last I saw Drolf, he was at Quarks. And I think, knowing Manny, she's probably at Quarks too.
Okay, great.
So you can pick those two up on your way.
Mm-hmm.
I know Droff's had a few drinks.
Yes. See, if the direction of time is arbitrary, and then how is negative, then that means the curvature. Oh, that hurts.
Okay, so now we're going to a different scene.
Uh-huh.
You and Droff and Manny, so Droff and Jal and Manny, are all going to where the starship Helsinki is docked, and your deputy is going over the cargo manifest, saying, see, Lieutenant Draper made arrangements for DS9 to become a Starfleet supply depot for the sector, and so Starfleet is starting to ship to drop off a bunch of its excess supplies here. And you can see all these important Starfleet supplies are all on this manifest, all these torpedo casings and rations and hand weapons, and go over all these things, and the Starfleet records are all perfect. And then there's this. And she points to a stack of cases of Cardassian Kanar. And she says, this is not properly listed on the manifest. These cases don't have the Cardassian tax stamp on them. And they're registered as being for the concert that's coming up in 3 days. Only this ship left port before the concert was even scheduled. I can't possibly tell you how, whatever the Bajoran word is for messed up these are, effed up these are. What should we do?
I say, what should we do? And I say, I guess we should talk to the captain.
And look, this entire shipment authorized by Lieutenant J.G. Barbara Draper.
Okay.
Oh,
So maybe we should talk to the good lieutenant.
Whose ship is going to be docking any minute now.
Okay. Well, in the meantime, let's go ahead and talk to the captain and see what he has to say. And can the
You've also got Droff and Manny there. Are you going to ask them to do anything?
Yeah, let's go ahead and let's scan the Kanar. Make sure it really is Kanar. It's
Okay.
not tainted. It's not poisoned. You know.
Okay. Droff is good at that. Droff.
All right. What am I rolling? Is it? Am I scanning like with the tricorder, or am I scanning with the big scanner? Do I call up the op and say, "Hey, can you run a scan on this such and such," and give them the coordinates?
You probably don't have a tricorder with you since you were drinking at the bar, but Monty might have one. So, Manny, you can either...
I have a tricorder. I'll lend it to Droff.
Actually, if you run the scan with Droff helping you, you have... well, Droff has collaborative science, so you can use his science skill if he's standing next to you, helping you. So, Manny, roll 2 dice. You will be using...
Okay.
Let me find your character sheet.
So what am I
here.
rolling?
Oh, is it insight or reason?
We're going to say it's probably insight plus science. So you'll be using your 9 insight and Droff's 5 science. So you've got a 14 to make. 2 dice. And Droff, you can roll a help.
I should roll to help.
Okay. 1 success.
Apparently, I'm unfamiliar with the Klingon tricorders. I rolled a 16.
Okay.
The tricorder is Starfleet, not Klingon.
Okay.
Yeah. What did you roll, Monty?
Well, there's your problem.
Ella, what did you roll?
I had 1 success.
Oh, okay. Well,
A 10 and a 15.
you can tell it's definitely Kanar. You can't really tell. You don't think it's poisoned or tainted in any way, but you're not quite able to tell if it's really great Kanar or maybe synthesized Kanar, but it's definitely cases of Kanar. Doesn't seem to be poisoned. And Droff is a little too drunk to read his tricorder.
Okay.
But I can test the sample of the Kanar, right?
You could sample it the old-fashioned way, yes.
No.
Yes. I think maybe.
You may have.
Well, it's a sensor test, right?
Maybe we should save that for later.
All right.
When maybe you're not.
Yes,
so...
there's a concert later, right?
Okay, Joel, you've been notified that the I gotta try to pronounce this right. Give me a moment. Gressriel, GRESS''SRIL. The Gorn ship Gressriel has docked with Lieutenant Draper aboard.
Oh,
Okay, I say, Jennifer, this is Joel. Can you come in? I think you're muted.
I was.
Okay.
Yes. What can I do for you?
What do you know about this Kanar that's been ordered on the what's the name of the ship again, Mike?
That is the Helsinki.
The Helsinki.
I'm not aware of any Kanar that's supposed to be on that ship, but I'll have to check the manifest.
According to the manifest on this ship, it was ordered by you.
So are you going down there, or is all this happening by communicator?
This is all done by a communicator.
I should probably come down there. I also need to speak with the captain.
Okay, so
Okay, great.
when you
So
say
is
that,
this? Do you want me to come down there right this minute, or can I speak to the captain first?
We probably have to resolve this first.
when you say
Okay.
speak to the captain, are you saying you want to speak to the captain of the Helsinki, or you want to go to
No,
ops?
our captain. Our captain.
Oh,
Well, you have a communicator. You can
I
call.
do, but I would rather not do it via communicator. So I will contact her via communicator to see if she's available. But if Jal wants me to do this first, then I won't do that until I finish dealing with this other thing.
So what are you going to do?
You want me down there right now?
Yes, if you could, that'd be awesome.
Okay.
All right. So you come directly to the port where the Helsinki is docked. And Droff is there looking longingly at the cases of Kanar. Mani is there. Jal is there. Deputy is there. Probably a few of the people from of the Starfleet officers from the Helsinki are there. And all the Starfleet cargo that's all in order is being dealt with.
Okay. So
And
what are you looking at? Let me see what you're looking at.
So apparently this Kanar was ordered by you for the concert, but it was ordered
Right.
before the concert was scheduled.
So can I look at the manifest?
Sure.
How good of a forgery is this?
it's
wait. It's not a forgery if time is nonlinear.
Is he drunk?
Maybe a little.
He's drunk and geeking
I
out.
pat him on the shoulder. No, it's okay. It's okay, Drop. Just sit down over there.
He experienced something that he scientifically can't understand or conceive of, and then he got drunk over it.
Okay.
So yeah, you can tell that you don't have to tell anybody else, but you can tell that this manifest is not 99% of the manifest is A-okay. But the manifest seems to indicate that something else was loaded on the ship, but you can't tell what because the field is blank, and it's where the Kanar is.
Okay, so on a scale of wow, that's really impressive, and seriously, what's the level of this forgery?
If they had pulled it off, it would have been impressive. But it was an attempt to do something impressive that
Failed miserably.
That didn't succeed very well. It got caught by a pretty low-level Starfleet ensign and shown to a Bajoran deputy. And
Okay, so these are amateurs. So, do we know who's responsible for the manifest?
well, you wrote the requisition, but the manifest was done by the people who loaded the Helsinki back at Starbase 15.
Okay. So people don't do things like this unless they have a buyer on the other end. Someone is expecting this shipment, and someone very poorly set it up in the hopes that it wouldn't be noticed. So we have.
I need Barbara to make a roll.
Okay.
I like where you're going with this, Barbara. We should totally set up a sting.
Insight plus security, 2 dice, but nobody gets to help her on this. This is just all in her head.
A pair of threes.
Oh,
Yes.
wow. Dang, okay. Obviously, this labeling that says it's for the concert had to have been created en route.
Right.
Because before it departed, the people who loaded the ship didn't know the concert existed.
So whoever did this is on the ship. It was on the crew of the ship.
If
That's
that's the conclusion you wish to draw.
Yeah, but that doesn't tell us who the pickup is going to be with.
No.
I do like the Sting idea.
Now, remember, this is a very minor crime. This is not usually the kind of thing Starfleet gets involved with. This is for law enforcement. But it's a puzzling thing.
Yeah.
So here's options. They're a little sloppy. They're a lot adventurous. They may be useful.
Mm-hmm.
So how we approach it, again, it's not a hanging offense, for lack of a better term. It's like I said, it's sloppy. But again, people like this can be useful to you.
Right.
So we need to decide, doing a sting to find out who it is, not a bad plan. Then you need to decide what you're going to do with them. Because obviously we put them in jail or do whatever legal thing it is that you do, and they're gone. We don't have to worry about them anymore. However, we can no longer use them.
Right. So I think we should interview the crew of the Helsinki and see who is collaborating, and then let them know that they're going to go ahead and deliver it like nothing. And then when they make the drop, arrest both parties, and then go from there.
They're not going to cooperate with you if you're going to arrest them when they're done. Just so you know.
All we need to know right now is who they are. We don't need to arrest them yet because we're not sure what they're done. But once we know who they are, then we can continue to observe them.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I like this thing idea. Let's go ahead and have them make the drop, and go from there.
Okay.
So are you going to try to figure out who it is, in which case you'll probably tip your hand? Or are you going to somehow bug or track the shipment so that you just know where it goes and keep an eye on it and see who picks it up and who does the handoff?
I like that. Let's go ahead and bug it, put a tracker on it, and do it that way.
Okay.
Okay, so you're just going to, just to be clear, you're just going to let this box of stuff that probably wasn't supposed to be Kanar originally go to whatever cargo spot in Deep Space Nine it was supposed to be stored in, as if it were the thing it was supposed to be, which is a blank field right now. That's the thing, and it's going to have a tracker on it.
Let's go ahead and write Kanar on there.
It's got Kanar written on it.
Oh, okay. Well, you said it's blank.
It's already clearly no. The manifest is blank.
Yeah,
the shipment is labeled clearly.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's labeled clearly, and it even has the name of the concert and the date of the concert on the label, which is kind of a paradox, a temporal paradox. Another one.
Right. Yeah, I think we should bug it. I think we should put a tracker on it and see who makes the pickup, and then move in once we see somebody make the pickup.
Okay.
And I'll let my deputies know that's what the plan is. So be ready. And
Okay.
if I was a betting man, I'd say that whoever's running the concert is probably be the people to pick it up.
This is an idea that probably is not a good idea because I'm drunk, but I could synthesize some synthetic proteins to map onto the Kanar so that whoever drinks it, we can then scan them later and figure out who it is. However, I don't think we really care who drinks it. It's who picks it up, not necessarily who consumes it.
Yeah, exactly. But that's a great idea. Next time we need to trace who swallows something, I'll keep that in mind.
Okay. All right. We're clear with that plan of action, and that's going forward.
Yes.
All right. Now we have one important decision to be made to lead us into the next scene. Barbara.
Yes.
Captain Buck Dallas asked you to meet him at Quark's.
Right. I have to talk to the captain.
So we're now getting to that evening when he was hoping that you would introduce him to Vita and anybody else from the crew who you wanted to introduce him to.
Right. I have to talk to the captain.
Commander.
No, now
Commander.
better do that now.
Right. Well, I was going to do it right off the ship, but I got waylaid.
Yes, with a
Commander,
smuggling thing.
do you have time for a chat?
Of course. Always.
Um,
What can I do for you, Quartermaster?
Preferably someplace where we're not talking over a communication.
Why don't you meet me in my reading room off of Ops?
Okay.
Yeah, the commander of Deep Space Nine has a pretty badass office.
Woohoo!
So you go up to meet the commander.
Right.
What can I do for you?
So the ship that I came on is destined for the Gladiator Games. I had a chat / squeeze for information, the captain, and he's willing to give us everything he knows about who his contacts are, how this is going down, but he wants to meet you.
Ooh, what is your assessment of his trustworthiness?
Not at all. Oh, as far as will he give us the information, I think he will. But yeah, as far as beyond that, no.
All right. Well, let's definitely get Luke Drakgoun in because this most closely affects him, and maybe the rest of the crew too. What do you think?
Well,
Does he only want to meet me, or
he really wants to meet you? He initially thought it would be good to try to get me on a date. Yeah, right. But he finally fessed up and said what he really wanted was to meet you.
did he invite you to that new Delton Bar restaurant place?
He did.
Ooh.
I know better.
All right. Well, what is your assessment? Should I invite Drakgoun along, or should I be meeting with him just with you? I'll defer to your judgment.
Do I think that, judging by the way that I kind of walked all over this guy, do I think having additional people will help or hurt in this situation?
You really don't think it will hurt. He just came off as a guy who is coming to Deep Space Nine. He's about to make a lot of money. He wants to meet some people and have a good time at Quark's.
Okay, then yeah, Drakgoun is fine.
Okay. Vita to Drakgoun.
Yes.
We may have a lead to some information on the Gladiator Games, and I was wondering if you wanted to join us in speaking with the source.
I do, as a matter of fact.
Okay, meet us in Quarks, please.
I will.
All right, Barbara, let's go.
Fun times. Oh, there's something going on with. Never mind. We'll talk to you about it later.
Anything I really need to worry about? Or are you sure?
Not right now. No.
Okay. Off to Quarks we go.
Okay, so new scene. Whoever wants to be at Quarks, we know some people are definitely going to be there. Barbara, Vita, and Drakgoun are going to be there. Droth probably never leaves.
Yeah. Well, he goes back because he was in the car with Joel in the cargo bay. So I suspect he has stumbled back to the bar. It's possible that Manny went with him just to make sure he doesn't fall over and somebody doesn't pick his pocket.
I'll make sure he gets there okay.
And there you see Captain Buck Dallas. He is wearing a 10-gallon cowboy hat and boots.
God. Can you be any more cliche?
He's human?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's human.
Okay,
Yeah,
well,
Buck Dallas is definitely human.
it would be inexcusable in any other race. It's barely passable in a human.
He sees you guys coming. He looks at Drakgoun and his eyes go wide. And he says, well, son, I think you are paler than a tumbleweed in Salt Lake.
Yeah, he really did say that.
Yeah.
Drakgoun starts
Sounds like
tapping
my
his
drunk
thing.
Uncle Bob.
I think my translator's broke.
That was a little echoey. Couldn't understand it.
It's because I'm going off of Vic's mic. So she'll have to mute. There we go. I kind of tapped my thing. I think my translator's broke. That didn't come through.
Well, he's all handshakes and backslaps saying, hi, I'm Buck Dallas. It is a pleasure to meet you fine people.
Hi, Buck. It's good to meet you. I hear you have some information for us about the Gladiator games?
Well, sure. Pull up brewski and let's talk about it.
I look over
around and says, bartender, bring us some pictures over here. Pictures of good old American beer.
and I'm picturing these little pictures of beers being distributed.
Quark starts filling some pitchers with whatever synthetic beer he can come up with.
I'm kind of standing off to the side, rolling my eyes at this guy.
Said, I've heard about this base. This is something else. This place is huge. This is almost as big as Texas. No, nothing's almost as big as Texas.
You do know that Earth is a very small planet, right?
Earth may be small, but Texas is big.
Nothing that has come out of his mouth is surprising me.
So, what can you tell us about the games?
Oh, they're going to be making a huge amount of money for me. I can't believe that what they were offering for these old starships. You know, they want the older, the better.
Yeah, do you know what they're doing with them? Because we do.
They're fighting.
Yes, they're
Yes.
killing people.
They're fighting battles, and they want the battles to be spectacular.
You realize we're talking
The thing
about
is, with the new starships, the weapons have too long a range. They're too far apart when they shoot each other. They like them old starships to get close together before they kill each other.
I see.
It's much better for the audience.
Drakgoun, do you have any questions you would like to ask?
questions. no
Right now,
questions.
I'm just sick to my stomach.
Lots of statements. Who is your contact that you are selling to?
Oh, there's this docile here named Keen. He wrote me this great big old check. Look at this sucker. He's from that gem, that Get to Enterprise Multiplicities. It's a big corporation in the Dominion.
Let's see. One of the only corporations in the Dominion.
Let's see. Questions.
So you are aware that in these battles that my people die, right? And you're okay with that? You're okay with my people dying?
I don't know. I see that.
Yeah,
that
no,
is
you do
not
know. I
my
just told you.
business. But that is. I am just selling them the spaceship. What they do with it is their business.
Mm.
If I didn't sell it to them, somebody else would. And why should I let them make the money?
I will keep that in mind. Buck.
So,
Buck. Did not realize until that moment how much that word sounds like something else.
so I hear you got a Delton restaurant here on this station.
Yes, we do.
Anybody been there? Is it
Um,
everything they say it is?
Professor Jolf,
Yes.
if any of us has been there, it would be you. Have you been to the Delton restaurant?
Yes.
I'm
I
not
can tell
surprised.
you the food there is completely tasteless.
Well, it depends on your taste, but yes, you should take lots of lubrication with you.
Well, I will keep that in mind. Do you have any other tips?
Get out.
There's something beautiful about a passive aggressive person with a
I
Texan.
didn't realize that was passive.
So, by that, do you mean pull out?
No members.
This is taking a very, very different turn. Wow.
So, do any of you have tickets to watch them games? I hear they're pretty expensive.
Didn't I just tell you to get out?
Who is profiting from this? Is this just the Docile that
Didn't
are
I say
profiting?
get out?
Well, I am assuming it's Geta Enterprises Multiplicities, the corporation.
Follow the money.
Yeah. To the redskin people, the docile.
Red dots. It's about as bad as calling people by their species. Sorry about that.
Those. Okay. Docile. All right.
And if you look closely at the Docile, go watch that episode again. The Rules of Acquisition was the name of it. They're not actually red in complexion. You can see parts of their body is not covered with the red makeup. They are actually wearing makeup. They wear red makeup to make themselves look intimidating and fierce.
We call them posers. Oops, sorry. We call them posers.
All right.
So yeah, I was thinking about trying to see me some of them battles, but I guess I'm just going to have to catch it on video because I don't want to spend that much money.
Wait, they distribute video of the death of people?
I assume they will later on.
Were you
I don't
raised
know.
by Ferengi or something?
I didn't get that verb. Could you restate?
Were you
that?
raised by Ferengi or something?
You're talking to Buck?
Yes.
Well, no, I was not. I was raised in Texas.
Oh, apparently Texas on Earth has a dark side.
You don't even know
You
that.
have no idea.
You're assuming that assumes there's a light side. So yeah, good luck there.
There's a great song that you'd love, Jarl. It's called, or not Jarl, Joss. It's called All My Exes Live in Texas.
All my exes live in Texas.
Well, do you have any useful information to give us? I kind of want to throttle you.
Okay, we're going to assume he does have useful information, and we're going to assume you asked him the right question to get that useful information.
So I don't throttle him?
He's actually not intimidated at all. He's used to some roughhousing in the bar. That's kind of how he was brought up. But in Earth terms, the first Gladiator games are 5 days from now. So if you want to prevent loss of life, you've got 5 days to act. That is the useful information you can get out of him. And the next place that you could possibly go for information is to the Geta Enterprises Multiplicities GEM office on the promenade.
I thought we'd already been there. Mani, had you been to the GEM offices, or am I remembering wrong?
No, I didn't actually get there because we were sidetracked with the mission.
Okay.
We had gone to the hell, and he told me about the Enterprises, and then we went on a mission before I could get there and visit it.
All right. How long do we have till this concert thing? Do I have to go, Droth? Oops, we lost Droth.
All right, the tickets, let's assume he gave you each a test ticket, and you can see the day is 3 days from now.
All right. Mani, why don't you pick a team to go to the GEM offices and get what information you can get? And you may want to take Joel with you because I think we need to start thinking about our legal.
He's first on my list. He's top on my list.
Excellent. Okay. Because I definitely want to corner any legal way we have to stop them from here under Bajoran law. Does that form of action agree with you, Drakgoun?
Yes, it does.
Okay. Please, if we make any choices here that you don't agree with, this is...
Oh, I'll let you know.
These are your people. We want to be in support of you.
He's not subtle.
Money.
Okay, so I'm gonna pause here to explain the stakes in case there is anyone watching the live stream who's tuned in for the first time tonight. What they're talking about over in the Gamma Quadrant, after the Dominion War ended, the founders are kind of reassessing their moral place in the world and sort of stepping back a little bit. They still are revered as sort of like gods in the Gamma Quadrant, but business is kind of booming over there, and they had some, after the war, they had millions of Jem'Hadar soldiers left over that, and the Jem'Hadar only live for about 7 years. And some of these Jem'Hadar are getting on about 5 years old that were made to fight the war, and they really, really, really like dying in combat and really, really, really hate dying of old age. So traditionally when this happens, the founders just have the Jem'Hadar fight each other to the death. Well, somebody got the idea that money could be made if they put the Jem'Hadar on spaceships and had them fight spaceship gladiator battles for paying audiences. And so they've been buying up old spaceships left and right and sending them over to the Gamma Quadrant for these gladiator games. The Jem'Hadar are very happy to die in these gladiator games. Unfortunately, every spaceship manned by the Jem'Hadar has to be commanded by a Vorta. The Vorta don't live just 7 years, and the Vorta really would prefer not to die in these gladiator games, but right now there's nothing they can do about it. Drakgoun, here in the Alpha Quadrant, is a Vorta, and he is advocating that the Federation do something to save his people, the first of which will start dying in 5 days. Okay, now let's get back to it so that since we've caught up the audience who's tuning in. All right, I'm sorry, I created a giant distraction. We're going to go to a new scene.
Is there any way?
Yeah.
Is there any way we could somehow freeze the ships here? Is there some sort of permit or something that they need? Because they're getting repaired here.
We need to check them for radiation before they leave.
Well, first of all, not every ship needs repairs. Like that Gorn ship that's here, it's still in working condition. The Klingon ships needed repairs. Some of the ships are just getting here and going straight through the wormhole. Dozens of ships have already gone through.
It's not going to make much of a difference then.
And we need to stop all of the ships.
Well, we need to stop the game.
We need to stop the practice. The ships aren't going to matter. I shall think.
You want to go to the wormhole and ask the prophets? Well, I mean, I guess that wouldn't stop the ones that are already there, but anyway.
No.
Hey, Mike, can I find out if there's anything underground going on with these games? Maybe figure out if there's a way to go about getting them canceled because of tax evasion or something like that.
Well, that would be Gamma Quadrant business. It'd have to be some authority in the Gamma Quadrant that canceled the games.
And the Gamma Quadrant is the Dominion.
And you really don't know if they have taxes and things like that.
We don't.
You're not really an expert in the Dominion. You'd have to ask Drakgoun about how the Dominion works.
All right, so Drakgoun, then how do we stop this? I mean, there's already ships going there, so we can't stop the ones that have already been there. We don't have any authority in the Dominion, which is where this is going on. The only way we could stop it, the only way possible to stop it would be to prevent the corporation from making money off it, or to make it expensive for the too expensive for the corporation to make money off of it, for them to want to incur those expenses. We need to take the money out of it for the corporation. That's the only way I can think of to stop it.
That would be the viewing rights.
Well,
Because
to
that's
find
the
out any
connection.
more details about the game, you may need to go talk to the corporation.
Indeed.
All right, so Monty, you're taking
So we need
Joel.
to find out how it's being viewed. Yes.
And Drakgoun, and who else?
Yeah, Drakgoun, do you want to?
Oh, Monty, I'll grab a phaser.
All right.
And
Standard
one bullet.
issue. So, so we need to find out.
So, Joel, are you really carrying a rifle like you just gestured?
No.
You're gonna go marching into the corporate office with a rifle?
Yeah. No.
That
was more of a-
Please, let's get some answers.
Yeah. Yeah. That was more of a reference
That's Jane.
can't think of her name right now.
Okay.
Janeway's t-shirt,
All right.
you know.
Now,
Yes.
as the constable, it's not unusual for you to have a holstered pistol
I've got
weapon
one of those, yes.
at all times. That's not a big deal. Odo didn't, but
Oh, he didn't need one.
Odo was very unusual. Normally, that a constable would. All right, so Mani is taking Joel and who else?
Drakgoun.
And Drakgoun.
Drolf, I believe, is too drunk to go.
Yeah.
I'll stay in ops and supervise from ops in case you need anything.
All right. Is Barbara Draper coming along?
Sure, why not?
Okay. Not sure what help I can be, but I'm willing to go.
Just for another set of eyes. So we need to find out how the games are being viewed. Since they're making money off of it, they have to be viewed, right?
Mm-hmm. So
There's bound to be betting on it.
Who's carrying what? We know that Joel has a Bajoran phaser on him. Anybody got tricorders? You all have communicators.
Well, Monty has a tricorder on her still.
Monty has a tricorder.
And it's a Federation tricorder we learned earlier.
Well, why I'm a part of Starfleet. Why the hell would I carry a Klingon tricorder?
You could carry a Dominion tricorder.
Could I carry both?
If you want to sling around with two tricorders, I guess so, but you
Well, that's
have...
right, 'cause I
Our Dominion
I do
tricorders
have
are secure
Dominion
tricorders.
tech. So,
But I suspect
Maybe-
Raccoon is still better at the Dominion tech than you are.
I was going to say, maybe we give Drakgoun the Dominion tricorder.
okay.
Okay, so you go to the offices of Geta Enterprises Multiplicities, which is the fanciest entrance on the promenade.
So, should I go in there under the pretense of being an interested party?
How good are you?
Not
at
if you're
lying?
bringing the sheriff.
Good point. I'm just okay. Maybe.
Before we do this, should we? I don't know.
We
Have
should-
a plan on what we're going
Yes,
to
we
try to
should.
find
That's
out?
what I've
plan
been
would be
trying.
good.
That's what I've been trying to get people to come up with a plan, but everybody's like, "Let's go." So somehow we need to find out how the games are being viewed. If there's any type of betting going on,
Oh,
how
I
that's
bet
being,
there is.
huh?
I have different contacts I can tap for that information.
Oh, okay. Any other suggestions about what we should figure out, what we should try to accomplish on this little sojourn?
Well, a good question is who is paying for who's the money behind it all to start with, right? Because somebody has to be paying for those ships and for those repairs.
Follow the money.
Well, I did a lot of research on the Jem'Hadar and their physios and whatnot. You're saying a lot of them are what near death or near the end of their lives, and they want to die. Can I research how to extend their life so that they have something to live for?
You
Most
might
likely
be able
not.
to work on that. They're built with an expiration date.
You may not.
Yeah, they.
Well, yeah, the Vorta might say, no, that's a really bad idea. They're really not, not people you want to stick around.
Yeah, you are correct, sir. Jem'Hadar are built for one thing.
War.
Murderfication.
Some Jem'Hadar have been known to live as long as 11 years, and they get really cranky.
So if we wind up saving them from dying in battle, is that morally wrong, at least from their standpoint?
It's not the Jem'Hadar that are the problem.
It's the
we're
Vorta
not-
commanders.
Yeah, we're not trying this.
Okay, so save the Vorta. All
As
right.
long as the Jem'Hadar are happy with dying, it's not our place to tell them what they should or shouldn't do.
But we Vorta are
However-
not.
Exactly.
Okay,
But the
so
Vorta are not happy with dying.
the Vorta have to be on these ships. They have to command them. Okay,
Correct.
is that a rule written down somewhere?
That's just how it works. The Jem'Hadar need a Vorta commander.
That's I was
A Jem'Hadar would say that is the way of things.
can certain can there be a way that we can convince them otherwise? Like a whole
You would have to change the founders' minds.
train a Jem'Hadar to be the commander.
Again, you would have to change the founders' minds.
Oh God.
While I believe
Well,
this
wait.
is a good route to take.
Has Odo left?
Oh, he's lost.
Yeah, Odo left over a day ago at this point.
Okay.
And Odo is only one,
Right.
Odo does expect to be coming back
True,
this
but
way
he has
But not in a few days.
as soon as Luoxana is done with him.
not soon.
I don't honestly think we'll be able to stop the games within 5 days.
Oh, that's not a pretty pitch. Yeah.
Okay, so if we take the wait, the Jem'Hadar aren't that smart though. Can we replace the Vorta with they're already clones?
How about a hologram?
Now there's an
emergency
idea.
command hologram.
You,
That's an interesting idea. Huh.
interesting wouldn't be the word that I would use.
It
for
can be
it.
made to look like Vorta.
Impractical. How about that? For
But
to
we've all the Federation has already
retrofit every single
I
one
am
of
all
those
ears.
ships.
I have no fucking clue about how.
I think the
5
big
days.
challenge is that the ships are extremely old. I don't think a lot of the systems could probably even run the hologram. I mean, we'd have to install an entire
That's true.
emitter system.
Maybe before you come up with this
Just on the bridge.
the solution to the entire campaign here, maybe just come up with a strategy for gaining some information by visiting the office.
Yes, are you going to play good cop, bad cop, or are you going to bribe them? What you up to?
Because you don't have to walk in there and say the magic words that are the perfect thing
I
that
have
solves
no
everything.
fucking clue.
You just have to go in there and get some information.
Yeah. I think we should do that. Just get some information.
All right.
I'm ready to go if you guys are.
I might be able to talk them into something as
Okay.
a boredom.
Well, all right. So we go and Drakgoun takes the lead then.
You're the senior officer.
Hello?
Can I make a suggestion?
Good idea. Make a suggestion.
If
All right, we're gonna go and
if we're going on a
Sure.
fact-finding mission, we want to find stuff out. Some stuff that, might be less than legal that they're doing. Don't take him! And don't go in as Starfleet. It's not going to work. You need to go in as somebody who wants a piece of the action.
Oh, that's a good idea.
I'm good friends with the Grand Nagus.
yeah.
Oh, wait.
That's-
Can I dress
that
you
is a
all
good-
as human pimps? I've always wanted
Huh?
to dress people up like human pimps.
What?
My
What?
backhand is strong.
From what century?
I don't know. I thought humans only had one country.
Question is, would they recognize me?
Century.
If I were to
Century.
Technically, they do, but yeah, okay.
Okay, can I hear what you said again, Ella?
would they? So I was talking to Behel. So I don't. Oh, hang on. Sorry, about to lose my connection. I didn't actually go in to the corporation, but I was seen at the garage. So I'm wondering if I go in, will I be recognized as Starfleet and not get any kind of information out from them?
You don't know.
Even if I went in with
Sure.
dressed as a civilian.
You're pretty certain they know who Jal is, since he's chief of security on the station. They can obviously tell Drakgoun is from the Dominion because they're used to working with Vorta every day. Droff is a pretty famous scientist. Maybe they know the half Klingon that's been hanging around, but Barbara only just got here and she's super low rank.
Also, Droff's wife is a famous singer.
Droff's wife is very famous, and everybody's seen this famous singer hanging all over this scientist at Quarks.
Of course, Droff's still drunk. Anybody know a way to sober him up?
Yeah, that was.
So Manny and Barbara are probably the least well known of you.
Okay. So we're gonna probably not go in Starfleet uniforms.
Um,
Good plan.
One of my focuses is gambling games, so I'm curious.
Yes.
This is obviously going to be a very big betting event. Can I, while I'm, getting smashed at Quarks, get a run on what the bookies are saying about this event and who's involved in the betting and how big are the numbers?
You probably can. You probably can learn a thing or two. Quarks is a gambling establishment. One of your wives is a professional gambler, so you've been to a casino or two and you know your way around. So yeah, you can take a little time at Quarks and find out what the betting in the Federation is going like. Let's let you do that right now. Well, unless
I'm curious who's involved, as in if this is a big money event, what's at stake here? Is this the Ferengi, the Dozai is who really wants this thing to go off well, and maybe that'll tell us more about who doesn't want it to go off well.
Okay, so do you want Droff to do this before you go talk to the corporate office?
Sure, why not?
All right, Droff.
What's that?
Yes.
So this is probably
help us,
insight
figure out
and
what angle.
what is
Believe
this
it or
one?
not, we're going to call it. No, we're not going to call it science.
No, it's not science.
Yeah, it's going to be
con.
insight plus security.
Oh, okay.
But you're going to get to roll. I'm going to give you a third die for your focus. That's how we'll apply your focus this time.
All right. Oh, all right. Well.
Maybe
All
we
right.
should've sobered him up first.
I got a 6 and a 12, which are 2
Okay.
successes. I also got a 20, which is a complication.
Okay.
So
So
apparently I owe someone.
yeah. So here's what happened. You found out that man, there is no official Geta Enterprises Multiplicities gambling stakes set up here in the Alpha Quadrant at this point. It's all unofficial bookie stuff, and I can let you in on the action. And for the information that you found out, that there is no official corporate gambling going on within Federation territory, you ended up placing a bet on the first game.
Oh.
But you did find out some information. So you've got money riding on this now. All right, now we're going to go visit the corporate offices?
We probably should have sobered him up.
In defense, I
Sure.
can't imagine any of his wives let him stay in charge of the finances.
Ah!
But they make enough
So
money.
Draper
He's
and I have
probably got
gotten
a
to change
significant
out of our-
allowance.
What was that?
Ella's having
So
some
does
nasty
Drake-
lag. Sorry, go.
Ella?
Do you want me to log out and log back in again? See if that helps? Because I have no clue of what's going on my end.
No, I think everything is working on your end. I think you must be just delayed, because every time somebody asks you a question, there's a delay before you respond, and usually you're talking at the same time as someone else. I don't think logging out will help. I think it's just a delay.
There is a 3-second delay whenever Neela talks. That doesn't really help, but
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So here we go. Who is going into the corporate office?
No, that doesn't help me.
Is it Barbara and Manny?
And me.
Manny? And are you
I
in
guess I am. Is there a
uniform? Or are you dressed as
And-
civilians?
Money? Yeah.
No uniform.
Civvies.
No, we are not.
All right, you're dressed as
We're
civilians.
dressed as civilians.
Finally
In
walking up to the
costumes.
doors of Geta Enterprises Multiplicities. Very beautiful, fancy doors. The fanciest entrance on the promenade. And the doors open, and the entryway, the lobby is huge. You had no idea that there was anything this beautiful. They have really done some work in here. You can see that this is a multi-level office suite here on the promenade. There is a receptionist desk. There are several offices. The decorations are gorgeous latinum chandeliers in here. There's a receptionist sitting behind a desk smiling at you saying, "Oh, may I help you?" It's a female Karama is the receptionist. You see a few other people buzzing around doing businessy office stuff.
Yes, I walk up. I have a data pad in my hands.
Okay, you walk up and say, "Oh, I had no idea that there were any Vorta
that's
working for."
interesting.
Is that a resume? Are you applying for a job?
No, I want to know where my 3 Romulan ships are.
3 Romulan ships?
Yes.
I'm sorry.
I know you will call someone who does know.
Okay, just a moment. Let me call the boss. She buzzes and says, "Sir, we have some people who've come to see you." And you see a door opens on the upper level. And you see a very fancy dressed Karama step out. And he's coming down the stairs. And he says, "Yes, my name is Bemanach. I am the manager of this branch of Geta Enterprises Multiplicities. How may I help you?" And you see
Where are our 3 Romulan vessels?
You see a couple of docile coming out of side offices, looking at what's going on. And you confront him with your question.
Yes. Where are our 3 Romulan vessels that we were promised?
And he turns and looks at the 2 docile are a male and a female. And he turns to the female and says, "Do you have any idea what he's talking about?" And with that, we're going to end tonight's episode.
Son of a bitch.
It is after 9 o'clock. Doug, we are ready to roll credits. I am going to say thank you for tuning in. That's all we have this week. I am Mike Substelny, your game master. This game session featured Neela Bright, Darren Bright, Ella Shore, with live editing by Adam Para, and live editing by Doug Reichard. No, I don't want to roll credits again. This is our ending credits. This is how we're going to end it from now on. And we'll see you next time on Unreality Zone Fun and Games. Cut.
I'll grab a phaser.